As we all know, direct to consumer marketing offers startups a unique opportunity to engage directly with shoppers and learn who is actually purchasing their products and what they like and don't like at a more granular level than is feasible in brick and mortar. But driving initial discovery online can be a major challenge. Quick question: what is the key to building a successful subscription business? It's probably the biggest question on your mind if you're starting one of your own or even you have been running one for some time. Therefore, we've invited this amazing entrepreneur to answer these questions for you. Hi, my name is Rayson Chu and I'm your host for the Legacy Show. And in this episode, we've invited this amazing person, and that is none other than Kelley Thornton.
Hi, Rayson.
Kelley, hi, nice to meet you. And one thing is, Kelley is actually the founder and CEO of this amazing brand called Tiege Hanley, where you get to see Alpha M always promote this brand and say, hey, you guys want to have this spicy senorita, you gotta make sure that your face is well washed and all this other stuff. And T Chanley is actually a high quality, affordable, and simplified men's skincare brand. And Kelley has built a successful men's skincare company in 4 short years. And one thing to note is that T. Chanley has shifted that sales balance with a direct to consumer e commerce approach, reaching profitability into its inception in 2016. And Kelley is the catalyst behind the brand that's changing the face of men's skin health. With 20 plus years of experience in consumer goods, he is a veteran of creating new and innovative ways to connect consumer packaged goods to customers, boasting annual sales in the multi millions. And not just that, I saw that within 2 years he hit the billion record in a sense. So, well, hey, hello, Kelley.
I'm
Nice to see
here.
you here.
Thank you very
Yes.
much for those kind words. I mean, that's amazing. I think my ego just got a little bit bigger hearing you talk about me. That's so kind of
Oh,
you. Thank you so
oh, you're
much.
most welcome. You're most welcome. It's really an honor to have you here, man. How have you been?
Great, great. I'm living my best life. I'm really enjoying what I do every day. We have a great mission at Tiege Hanley. We're trying to help as many men look and feel amazing, about themselves and live their best lives. My philosophy is if you need to take care of yourself as an individual. You need to feel good about yourself. You need to, and the ways you feel good about yourself is, your attitude and how you when you get up for the day, how you prepare for the day, what you wear, and your level of confidence. And these are critical things, and we should
Right.
all, men and women, we should all support this mission for men. And the reason why is because we want to have healthy brothers and healthy husbands and healthy boyfriends and healthy
Right.
sons. And we can't do that unless we feel good about ourselves individually, Rayson. And so, we are a small part of trying to help all men look and feel amazing around the world. And we've been fortunate to help a lot of guys.
Right. Yeah. I was really amazed to actually see that the Nitsa from Guest CEO to recommend me to recommend you to my podcast, and all thanks to Guest CEO and Eric Allen as well for this kind introduction. Shout out to you guys. You guys are really amazing, and I'm really grateful for this introduction that we're gonna have a ton of value in this episode as well from Kelley. And yeah, you're based in US, right? In
We
like
are.
California or
We're actually in Chicago, and
Chicago.
for all your international listeners out there, U.S. is so massive. It's
Right.
kind of hard to understand the difference between East Coast, West Coast, Central. We're considered central of the part of the country in Chicago. Um, it's a really neat atmosphere in Chicago. First off, we have a beautiful lake, Lake Michigan, one of the multiple lakes that are here in the Midwest, and it's stunningly beautiful. It's 50 miles across and over 100 miles long. So we're talking about a massive body of water. But what's great about Chicago is we have a very Midwestern mentality. So, the East Coast, which I am actually born and raised, a little bit of a harder charging. Everybody knows New York, New York
Mm.
attitude. And the West Coast, California, is a little bit more of the surfer, beach lifestyle, kind of chill attitude. Here in the Midwest, we're friendly, and we it's a great place to do business. And there's historically, this is a very farming area, business growth area, and Chicago is the capital of the Midwest. So we're really happy to be here in the Midwest. We have great people that work here for our company and very passionate about what we're doing.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I would love to go to Chicago one of these days. I would love to visit you guys and actually go to your office and meet you up, or
Yeah,
can go to a coffee house to drink some coffee and have a good chat as well.
that'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Well, first and foremost, welcome to the podcast, and it's really an honor to speak with you today. I would like to know more about your story and your background. So,
Yeah,
Kelly, can you share with the audience a little bit more about who you are and what
yeah.
you do?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I am an entrepreneur. I was fortunate. I spent 19 years in corporate America, working for a global corporation. I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always been a pretty driven individual. I think, like, and anybody that's listening, your audience, if they are like that, they know what I'm talking about. I'm sure you're that way, Ryson. And that means you have a burning passion to make a difference, whether or not that's difference in helping other people or yourself or your family. You really just have a burning desire. I have a burning desire for success. I'm very, very motivated every day to get out of bed. I'm very motivated every day to kick ass.
Right.
And we have, a sign in the office wall. It says, "We're not here to be average. We're here to kick ass." And, that's kind of the mentality. I think, like, for me, there's three things for your audience to think about. These are the three things I think about. I think about hard work, and
Mhm.
it's especially today with the younger generation. Nothing is for free, nothing is handed to you. It just takes hard work. And there's not one person that we can point to in the global society that achieved anything great that didn't work hard for it. And secondly, I believe in honesty. I believe that honesty is critically important to anything you do, either in
Right.
business or your personal life. And actually, thirdly, I believe in creativity. I believe creativity uh, is really the root of capitalism. And so I really, really, really like creativity, and I really like it in terms of solving problems. And that's what entrepreneurs do very well, is they solve problems, and you have to be creative. So that's it's kind of, my background. I grew up, like I said, in the East Coast in Maryland. I was in New York. I went to school in Connecticut, and I've been in Chicago for 30 years. And I've been very fortunate in everything I've done.
Nice. Wow. Okay. Well, it's definitely a lot of hard work, a lot of creativity that you have to put in your business, and not just in your business, but subscription model as well as your product. And that's why Teach Hanley has grown so big and so massive, and the last, I would say, 5 6 years as well,
Massive.
right?
Yep.
Massive, massive. And well, it's awesome. It's awesome to hear that. And before we dive into the main focus of our interview, our listeners would love to get to know you a bit better. So
Sure.
can you tell us a bit about your backstory on how did you chance upon creating Tiege Hanley and becoming an entrepreneur? Because the last 19 years or so, you have been in corporate America, right?
Right.
And then
Right.
after that, what made you actually want to become
Yeah.
an entrepreneur in a sense?
Yeah. When I was driving to work the first week of my first job, and this was in New York,
Mm-hmm.
and I was fortunate to get a job at the same company that my father didn't own the business. He worked at the business. I interviewed there and I got a separate job. And I was driving to work with my father and I said to him, I don't know if this is right for me. It was a large company. It was independently owned by a Frenchman, actually. And I said, I'm not sure if this is right for me. I really want to have my own business. I had a painting business where I painted houses. It helped me pay for my college. And he said to me, look, just get a lot of experience and, and get some money and learn about how business is done. And then you can start your own business. And he had spent his whole career in corporate. So of course that made sense to him. I didn't think I would be in the corporate job for 19 years, but I was. And there's a lot of very positive things about that in terms of an entrepreneur's journey. There's also a little bit of negative things about that. I think I spent too much time there because, as you get older, it's more difficult to be an entrepreneur because entrepreneur by nature is equivalent to risk. And you
Right.
have to be able to accept risk in your life. So when you get older, it's harder to take risk. And the reason why it's harder is because you have more responsibility. When you have responsibility for a wife or a girlfriend or a dog or other
Mhm.
family obligations, it's very difficult. Financial obligations, very difficult to take risk. So I spent 19 years in corporate. The positive there, really good business foundation in terms of operations and process and marketing, really, really good. From there, I went and I started a global design agency called Purchase Point. I was in the
Yeah.
shopper marketing space, and Purchase Point was a shopper marketing company. And we had global clients, global CPG, consumer product good companies that are doing business in places like Singapore. I had a physical office for 10 years in Taipei on Guangzhou East Road in Fujing, near Sogo in Taipei City. I had a team there of 25, 30 designers, and I really spent a lot of time understanding the Asian market. We did business for companies like Wrigley and Mars and Unilever in Asia as well, and all over the world
Wow.
in London. And I really understand how men, through my experiences, particularly with Unilever, how men are thinking about shopping and thinking about taking care of their skincare. And specifically in Asia, and this is directly from my experience, spending time in in uh, uh, in China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, um, and there is a massive understanding for the importance of taking care of your skin there, and especially Thailand. If you've been in Thailand, uh, of course, Korea, South Korea, these
Right.
are places where they're cutting edge technology in terms of chemistry, in terms of beauty products, cutting edge technology. So I spent a lot of time there, and I realized a lot of people in the East, in the West, excuse me, we in America in particular, we're behind in understanding
Mhm.
culturally the importance of these things. So that
Right.
led me to that, combined with my desire to want to help men look and feel amazing. That led me to going online with a skincare model.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Nice. I mean, like, it's something that you must have actually been inspired by, Unilever, and then after that you realize that, oh my God, so many men are having skincare issues, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
When I put it this way, Rayson, when I would be in Bangkok doing shopper marketing for Unilever, and
Mm-hmm.
I would go into 7-Eleven, which anybody that's been in Asia knows, like these stores are on every corner. And
Mm-hmm.
I would go into these stores here in America. There might be one shelf, maybe 4 feet long, with men's products in that type of store. And you go
Right.
into you go into places in Asia, and there's like 5 feet wide by 5 shelves of men's products. And I was looking at this saying, hey, what do these guys know that we don't know? And I'm saying this concept is coming heavy to America and into Western Europe and into America. And that's exactly what's happened over the last 7 years I've been involved in this. Men are really thinking about how important it is to take care of themselves.
Yeah, right. And to sidetrack a little, because
Sure.
we talk a lot about skincare as well. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure men who are tuning in right now, they are actually curious about this, and that is, I would like to ask you, like, what are today's top skincare mistakes men make?
Well,
Because we were talking a lot about how men were having so many issues, and you realize that, hey, this is the problem that you're going to solve for them.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, the biggest mistake is not doing anything, right? That's the biggest mistake in anybody's life, right? Is not taking action.
Right.
Right. You talk about this spicy senoritas, not taking action is the biggest problem. I mean, like men's most important issue, especially, no matter where you are in your skincare journey, we have people that are very sophisticated and we have people that are just starting, is just make
Yeah.
sure you're washing your face every day with a
Mm-hmm.
super high quality product. Hopefully it's our product, Tiege Hanley, but there's great products. I think we have some of the best products in the market, but I wouldn't, I personally don't think some of the smaller mass market brands are very good quality. But for instance, Kiehl's makes a great quality face wash. So get started by
Oh yeah.
washing your face every day. Use
Yeah.
Tiege Hanley, use a high quality face wash, and follow up with a moisturizer. So just get started. Habits, healthy habits, Rayson, healthy habits.
Right. Right. And like what Jeef was tuning in right now, he said, people like to just wash water on the face, or
Yep.
probably a bar soap, or even a cold pack, even,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but we don't think about it. Sometimes you're just in a place where there's some hand soap, and you're washing your hands with hand soap, and then you wash your face,
Hmm.
and that's really bad for your skin. So
Right.
so it's not hard, guys. I don't know why us, men, we make it much more difficult on ourselves than it needs to be. You brush your teeth every morning you get up. You need to wash your face. You need to put a
Hmm.
moisturizer on. You get that. You get that accomplished. Same thing at night. You're gonna brush your teeth at night. You're gonna wash your face. You're gonna put a high quality moisturizer on before you go to bed. It's not that hard, guys. We can do it. We can do it.
Yes, we can do it. Men can do it.
Absolutely.
Come on.
That's right, man.
Yes. Yes. And Jeef was asking, what about guys with beards? What kind of skincare routine should they have? Is it the same as what you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, I only have like I usually keep about 7 days worth of light beard. I
Uh-huh.
shaved this weekend, but personally, I don't think it's an issue at all. Like I think if you have a very light beard, you can just go right over top of it with all of your skincare. If your
Right.
beard is heavier and thicker, um, you know, I personally don't think it's much like our face. I don't think it's much of a problem to use like your face wash into your beard. I don't
Mm.
think it's a problem at all. Obviously, your moisturizer, it's probably better, to keep your moisturizer above your beard line. Aaron Marino, who you mentioned is a partner of mine, he does use his AM into his beard to condition it. And I think that's okay as well. We don't necessarily recommend, putting our moisturizers on your beard, but most guys do that.
Okay, cool, cool. Wow, thanks for this short tip on how we can care for our skin, especially for men,
Yeah.
regardless whether you're Asian or Eurasian or
Yep.
European or American.
Yep.
just use this, right? Africans as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
our products are formulated for all skin types, and we
Mm-hmm.
want to control the pH balance, the cerebrum, which is the oil in your skin, which is naturally producing. Men have more cerebrum in their skin than women, and controlling pH and the amount of oil in your skin by washing with super high quality face wash. It doesn't matter what your skin tone is like. You'll see massive advantage.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Cool. Well, so guys, you guys have it. Tiege Hanley is the thing for you guys. You guys can go to Tiege Hanley, the and the website, and go and look for the best, facial wash and moisturizer and all, and get them today. All right. And Kelly, while we were actually talking about your journey earlier, I'm pretty sure throughout your years of experience in building this Tiege Hanley, right? I just want to ask, do you have a favorite failure of yours, and how has that failure or apparent failure set you up for later success?
Yeah. Well, Rayson, I'm very intrigued by your question because I think failure is the most important part of an entrepreneur's journey.
Right.
I think, um, you know, in general, it's failure is what makes you better. And where we fail frequently. And the reason why we fail frequently is because as an entrepreneur, we're willing to take a little bit more risk, as I described before.
Right.
So I always tell my team that performance over perfection, performance over perfection. We can't expect in today's e-commerce world and in today's direct-to-consumer world, we cannot expect to get things right and to work very, very, very hard to get things perfect would take weeks and weeks and weeks and months. And we could test that idea and it could be it could be no good at all. So what we want to do is we want to make the best decisions we can on less input. So, in the corporate world, they want to they say something like this, make decisions based on having 80% of the knowledge, and we, something in that nature. And Unilever used to even push that and say, make it on 70%, like have 70% of the data. I like to say, like, let's have 60% of the data. So we make a decision and we get, because we want to get to market quickly with that concept, and we want to be accepting of failure. So actually, if we try something and we fail, that's actually a positive thing for us, because then we can create a hypothesis about what went wrong, what went right, and then we can test it again quickly, like within days or weeks. And so when I can't point to, I can give you one or two larger examples, but generally speaking, we want to fail all the time. We want to fail in our processes, because failure leads to trying new things, which leads to success. So we are testing every single day. Every single person at the company is testing things based on 60% of knowledge, and they're failing and they're recreating that test and reiterating, and then we get winners.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Nice. Wow. So use 60% of knowledge and then test it out and keep. Uh, if you fail, you keep trying again and again. Is that what you mean?
Correct. 100%.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
Everything we do, we're testing. The faster we can get a concept to market, the better it is, because we could spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars trying to perfect something,
Right.
doing research and all of this stuff. So even in some of our bigger initiatives, like our product development roadmap, we'd rather get a product a little quicker to market and test it with our customers to see how viable the product is. And because we just to get, for me to get a product in the market, it's going to cost me about 100,000 USD. By the time I'm doing R&D on it, the cost of my lab, cost of my team, all the testing, packaging, doing a pilot, and then gearing up for production, it's going to cost me $100,000. So, in that example, I want to get to understand failure fast. I want to try to understand, do I have the right product? Do I have the right formula? I want to test it as soon as possible in a pilot. I want to have my manufacturing make a small run. I want to get it to my customers and see what they think. And if I have got a good product, I can limit my downside risk, capital risk, by trying to get it to more quickly to the market and test and see if I'm good or bad.
Okay, got it. And Kelley, just want to ask you, right? I'm pretty sure while you're building your business up, you must have looked upon or even asked or met many entrepreneurs who became your mentor in a sense,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So I would like to ask you, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received from your mentors?
Okay. So guess what? I received it. I'm going to tell you quickly. I didn't like it at all. I sat down with
Oh,
one of my business advisors, and when I say I don't like it, I didn't feel good. I sat down with one of my
okay,
business advisors, and this was for my second company, Purchase Point. And I told him my business plan, and we went to lunch, and I have unbelievable respect for this man. So I took him to a very nice restaurant for lunch, and I told him my whole business idea. And by the way, this man is uber successful. He's very, very, very successful career, both in the number of companies and his financial success and his family success. A man I respect a lot. At the end of the lunch, we were standing out in front on the street and the sidewalk, and I said, "What do you think?" And I was very excited to hear his feedback. And he said, "Well, I don't know so much about the business idea. I don't really know too much about that specific space that you're working in, but it sounds pretty good. And here's his advice. It's all about the execution. All about the execution. It's not about the idea. It's about the execution." And I didn't feel very good about that because I thought I had the greatest idea in the world. And I wanted him to say, "That's a great idea. It's brilliant. You got to do it." He didn't say that at all. He was like, "Yeah, it's an idea. It sounds good. I don't know too much about it. It sounds good, but can you execute?" And so that is the best piece of advice. It's all about execution. Somebody's going to have an idea similar to yours. Somebody is already going to be doing something that you're doing. Somebody will
right.
do something similar later that you're doing. So no idea is perfectly original. It's how well you execute it.
Well said. Well said. I totally agree with you on that, man. It's not about the idea itself, but it's how well you're gonna execute on that idea. Wow, nice. Love it. Love it. And don't mind me asking, is it okay if you share with us the name of this mentor?
Unfortunately, I'd rather not. I would love to. I would love to.
Okay, understand.
But and it's not. And out of respect, I just I'd rather not. The man owns shares in many many businesses, and I know I'm very fortunate to have him on my team. So anyway.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think Aaron Marino, by the way, Aaron Marino, my business partner, as you mentioned, in Tiege Hanley, he has a new business pod called Alpha Empire. And,
Oh yes. I've been watching it.
he's a brilliant businessman. He's a very brilliant businessman. When I talk about honesty, hard work, creativity, Aaron really excels on all of those. He works super hard.
Yeah.
He's one of the few people I met, in my space that work as hard as I do. He's incredibly honest, and he's very, very, very creative. So, he's a great person to learn from, and he's had phenomenal success. And I have a great deal of respect for him for everything he's accomplished. So I'd go
Yeah.
to Alpha Empire and check that out. That's a pretty good show.
Okay. Well, you guys should actually check out Alpha M, the YouTube channel, and
Sure.
Alpha Empire, which is the latest YouTube channel that he has just created, like I think 1-2 months ago, and
Yeah.
it was really rocking because it's a ton of value in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms
Yeah.
of his journey, his tips and advices on how to build your own empire, how to build your own business, how to start from scratch, and all this other stuff. Yeah,
Yep.
you guys should go to that. And I hope one day, I can get to interview him on the Legacy show as well.
Yeah.
And
Well,
yeah,
keep on working hard. I'll talk to him, put a good plug in for you, but he's a busy guy, but it's a
yes,
great place for business, to learn about business.
yeah, totally. And I'm pretty sure while you first started out in your business wise, in your entrepreneurship journey, I'm pretty sure you would be reading some books or
Oh
listening
yeah.
to some audio tapes and all. So can you tell us like what are 1 to 3 books that have greatly influenced your life?
Yeah. I mean, I've read so many books over the years. I tend to read, business related books. I don't read a lot of mystery novels or anything like that. I've recently read Culture Code uh, by Daniel Coyle. Culture Code is very interesting, and I think it's very, maybe it's just because I'm paying more attention to it, but I think it's a very hot topic in business right now, is making sure you have the right culture within your organization. Culture starts from the top, and you can smell it, you can feel it in companies that you engage with. What their culture is like is directly related to the leadership of the company. So I like Culture Code a lot. I would highly recommend that, by Daniel Coyle. I'm reading about habits right now. There's a book called Atomic Habits, and that
Oh,
book is pretty popular.
nice.
So I
Yeah,
think James Clear wrote that,
James Clear. Yes.
and I like that a lot. And that makes a lot of sense to me, because we are trying to get into healthy habits for men. So I think like that concept of atomic habits is really interesting. But there's many books. I like Arnold Schwarzenegger's, was it Total
Oh,
Recall? I think. So there's so many good books out there. In general, I like his story a lot. I mean, he had some problems later, with his marriage and stuff, which isn't that good. But we're all
mhm.
human. So yeah, I think those are 3 great books. I read Think Like an Astronaut by Pavel recently, that I liked a lot.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
so yeah,
Okay, cool. We'll definitely check those out, and you guys should actually check out those books as well. Atomic Habits.
yeah, great.
Um,
Culture
it's a
Code,
really great book, Culture Code, and also Arnold
phenomenal.
Schwarzenegger's,
Yeah,
his
Total Recall.
biography,
Yeah, it's
Total
phenomenal.
Recall.
And
Yeah,
by the
yeah.
way, if you want a book that has nothing to do about business, this is crazy. The book Life, Life, by Keith Richards. Keith Richards is the Rolling Stones, probably the most famous rock band in the world.
Mhm.
The Rolling Stones. But um, the book Keith Richards wrote about his biography, um, just absolutely stunning biography. The first half of the book, he talks all about his passion for learning music, and his relationship with Mick Jagger of the
Mm,
Rolling Stones. And it's half of the book is just about his passion for music, hard work, creativity,
right.
and his story, and how he met Keith Richards. Basically, they knew each other not well, but they knew of each other in school, but it was conversation. They struck up in the tube in London when they were waiting to go to school together to different places, and they saw Keith Richards saw an album, original vinyl album that Mick Jagger was holding, and he started talking to him about that music, and it was that relationship that built into the Rolling Stones. And that's the type of thing that happened with Aaron and I. I called Aaron and talked to him about business, talked to him about men's skincare, and our friendship and relationship and our business grew out of that. So the book about Keith Richards, and then of course he's a crazy guy, always partying and this and that, but he still was able to stay in the band. It's really interesting. A lot of issues with drugs and sex and rock and roll and all that stuff too makes the book interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Wow, we'll definitely check that out as well. Sounds really interesting. Sounds a very sophisticated and interesting lifestyle that many men would want to have when they're young, when they're younger.
Absolutely.
In a sense. And Kelley, now to the main focus of our interview, I would like to ask you, right, for all of us, and especially the listeners who are tuning in right now, how can we actually figure out that perfect product to sell online without breaking our bank account?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I'm going to give you some answers that are typical.
Okay.
I think to the extent that you can solve a problem for the consumers, right? So we need to make sure that the product that we're selling solves a specific problem for the consumer. And you need to be able to solve it just a little bit better than what's out there right now.
Right.
So you need to solve a problem. You need to be able to solve it a little bit better from anything that's out there in the market. To the extent that it could be a larger total addressable market, you hear people talking about TAM all the time, TAM, total addressable market. It needs to be, the better the size of the total addressable market, the better opportunity you're going to have. And then to the extent that you can have a voice in the market, and that's probably the biggest one. You need to have a voice in the market. How are you going to be heard over the competition? And trying to understand how you can sell a product, how you can have a voice in the market is very important. Otherwise, you'll just get drowned out by all the other competition. All the other competition will make more noise than you. So for us, for Tiege Hanley, we were able to get a voice early in the market with bringing Aaron Marino as a partner. And that was the thing that he solved for us. He solved for us having a voice in the market. And then lastly, you got to have a damn good product. You have to have a really good product. You can't sell shitty product. You have to have a great product. So if you don't have a great product, you're not going to have a great business. So I think those things, solving a unique problem, being a little bit better than competition, having an excellent product, and having a voice in the market. That's the entry point, Rayson. That's the entry point.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Now, so once you actually got the right product and the right target and that voice in the market space, right? What else is needed in order for the brand to be awesome?
Well, first off, test that quickly, right? We just talked about try to figure out how to test your idea quickly. We at Tiege Hanley, we launched our version 1 and we failed fast. That actually led us to Aaron. Our business model has always been about helping men look and feel amazing, being a routine, skincare routine, putting it in a box and educating guys on skincare. That's always our thesis. We were selling other people's product in our box originally. like Glossier. I don't know
Mm.
if your consumers know, your listeners know, but there's companies that sell other people's products. It's prevalent in like the fashion industry. Like if you get a fashion box, you might have this
Mhm.
brand T-shirt, this brand. We were selling other people's products. We tested that quickly, and it was a lot of things were right, but what was wrong about it was we were selling other people's products. And by the way, there were a lot of products from South Korea, highly curated, very unique
Mhm.
products, but people could still find them on their own. They didn't need us. Once we introduced our product to them, they didn't need us. They could buy it someplace else, like Amazon maybe.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
testing quickly, right? And then figuring out how to have a voice in the market. Those are the things you need to do to get started. And just get started. You have to just get started. You have to test. You have to come out with a minimal viable solution, uh, to an MVP, which everybody talks about MVP. You have to have a minimal
Mhm.
viable solution, a
Yeah.
minimal viable product, and get out there and see if it works. Once that all happens and you've tested it and you've seen you've got something is working, then you start iterating on it. Then you start building on it. You start building, building, building. You make a hire. You hire your first person. You figure out how to
Mhm.
have a bigger voice in the market, and you start chiseling away. That's where the hard work comes in, Rayson. That's where you start really working on the business. That point of entry is all the stuff I talked about. Then you start working on the business. What does a brand look like? What does the packaging look like? What are the cost structures? How are you going to operate the business? Where are you going to ship from? Who are you going to hire? What resources do you need? On and on and on.
Okay. Awesome. Nice.
One little
Love it.
piece at a time.
Yeah, right. There's no such thing as overnight success. You gotta build the castle, the Lego set slowly and
Correct.
surely. Right?
One
Okay,
brick at a
right.
time.
One brick at a time. Yes. And Kelly, I would like to ask you, what do you think is the key to creating a successful subscription business?
Yeah, well, subscriptions is a totally different animal. I love this question, because here in the US, there's a very negative connotation to subscription. And the reason why is there's a lot
Hmm.
of companies that have been very abusive with the customer when it comes to subscription. They don't let people out. They start at a really low price and then they raise the price. They don't notify you when they're charging you. They don't notify when they're shipping. You're locked into a long contract, all of these things. And we and many other people in subscription today, we are just the opposite. We look at it as the only thing we want to do is do right by you, Rayson, the customer. We only want to do right by you. So we want to help you get your product when you want it. We want to help you get the product that you want in your box, so customized to you. We're going to make sure we're shipping it on time, we're delivering it on time, we're answering your questions about where it is, when it is, everything else. And if you have any problems, we're treating you like a king because you're most important to us. Our customers are our most important thing. So yeah, some people take advantage of that. There's people out there that don't have good integrity. They're not honest. But most people, they're honest with us. And when they say, I didn't receive it in time, we ship another box. They say they don't want it anymore, we give them a credit. And we say, no problem. Come back, visit us when you're ready. And I think like if you have that modern subscription mentality of putting the customer first is a beautiful business model.
Right, right. I agree with you on that in terms of, putting the customers first. This is really, really important. They are the most important pillar, one of the most important pillar in businesses. Without
100%.
customers, you won't get the money to pay your employees and do R&D on your product, right?
You've got nothing
Okay.
without customers.
Yeah, true, true. And I'd like to ask you, what sets Teach Hanley apart from other men's grooming lines?
Yeah. Well, we were probably the pioneer on this concept of routine. I mean, we're really, really, really focused on routine.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, our what we lean into, Rayson, is like um, systems. So what we want to do is, you know, we want to get guys on a system, which
Right.
includes our face wash, which we talked about earlier, a daytime moisturizer, and then at night you wash your face again and you use a nighttime moisturizer. This is our essential system. It also includes an exfoliating face scrub. So we have fun here at the company, and we say you should have a scrub day. Maybe your scrub day is Sunday and Wednesday. It depends on your routine. Maybe you play
Right.
volleyball, or you play soccer, or you go out on a hike on certain days. Maybe that's your scrub day. You know, you get in the shower afterwards and you exfoliate your face. So our unique thing is that we are, number one, that we are men talking to men about their skincare. And number two, we are a routine focused company. And we also want to make sure that we get a routine right for you. Not everybody is going to use our moisturizer, but they might use our scrub, our eye cream, our serum, some of our sophisticated anti-aging products. So we really want to try to get it right for you.
Okay. Wow. Nice. Okay. Cool. And I understand that you guys actually built uh, Teach Hanley way, way, way back, like in 2014, 2013. And that is when social media technology are getting better and better those days as well. So
Yep.
how big of a role has technology and social media played in Teach Hanley's success?
Everything. It's everything. You know, social media and technology, and the challenge with it is that it changes every single day. So I
Right.
think, like, you know, DTC companies around the world, they need to be very, very, very analytical. They need to be very technical. So what we have here is technical marketers. You know, traditional marketers really focus more on the, you know, the creative messaging brand side. Most of our marketers are really focused on technical messaging, testing, learning, and creating content.
Okay, got it. Wow. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that in terms of like how technology has really played huge success for you guys. Without YouTube, without Instagram, because one of the biggest platform for you guys to actually promote Teach and Lee was actually Instagram, from what I know. Without them, we will not be able to market it out like as
Right.
great as how Aaron has done it as well.
Yeah, and I mean that platform, you know, like Meta platforms of, you know, they implement changes like the iOS 14 update, you know, a year and so ago, more than a year, and you know, those things fundamentally impact hundreds and hundreds of thousands of businesses around the world that are spending tons of money on their platform to promote their products. And you know, you need to quickly adapt to changes that impact, you
Right.
know, what's going on. And all of these platforms like TikTok are rolling out new features all the time. They're doing different things constantly, and so you need to understand how these platforms are changing, and you need to adapt to them.
Yeah, yeah. Adaptability is really important when it comes to businesses and social media. Is algorithm has been changing all the time. Like
Correct.
nowadays, YouTube subscribers don't count that much anymore as compared to the watch time.
Yep.
In
Engagement.
from what I learned, yeah, the
Yep.
engagement as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And I'd like to ask you, because just now we mentioned, especially you actually mentioned that customers are one of the most important people that you need in business, right? So
Yep.
how do you keep your customers happy and engaged?
Well, It actually starts with our customer experience team. And, um, this is an area in businesses that they frequently outsource, they frequently offshore, they frequently use technology like bots to answer questions. You go to any website and you're chatting something and you're chatting with a computer. There might be a picture of somebody there, but it's not a person. And you know
Right.
so our customer experience team is part of our marketing organization. They're not part of our operations team. You have an operations team managing customer experience, and what happens? They're going to cut positions, they're going to cut jobs, they're not going to add people, they're going to try to leverage technology and replace them with people. But in our business, our customer experience team is in the marketing team. They sit in with a lot of our marketing meetings, and they sit in with R&D, and they sit in with operations. So they're telling our e-commerce team what our customers are experiencing with the website. Hey, we have a problem. The cart is not working. This button doesn't work. That button doesn't work. The customers can't figure this out. They can't figure out where to put in an address. They're confused by having to set up an account. They also give feedback all the time. Hey, they're saying this batch of product that we're shipping today, it smells slightly differently from the last batch. Why is that? What is going on? Or our customers are complaining it's taking too long to get the product delivered. All of these things. It starts with the customer experience team.
I agree. I agree with you on that. Customer experience team is very important, especially when you buy a product and then somehow or other the product has some defects, and it takes a if it takes a long time for somebody from the company to explain to you to address the issue, then
Correct.
it will be really really painful for you. It will
For
be
the
painful in the ass, right?
Exactly. That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
And customers remember that. I mean,
yeah,
unfortunately, customers don't always write back when their experience is great. They write back when their
yeah,
experience sucks. So,
yeah.
every single customer interaction is critical, every single one. And we grade every single customer interaction. There's something called a net promoter score, NPS. A net promoter score is a
Okay.
global standard for how your team is performing. Our customer, and anything above 70% NPS in a customer experience team is world class. Anything above 70. Our NPS score is 90.
Wow.
90%. We have a 90% NPS score, with hundreds of thousands of customer interactions. And I want to tell you how difficult this score is. We do, probably, and the team is meeting right next to me today. They're talking about stuff. We probably do. Oh, you can't change it that way. We probably do 1,000 tickets, 1,000 customer interactions. Can we see them over there? Um,
Yes, I can see them.
we do 1,000 interactions a day with these guys, and they are getting feedback all the time. If we get one 4-star rating, 4-star, it can drop our NPS by like a tenth of a thousandth of a point. And it's
Wow.
crazy. One bad rating within the customer experience team. So they are hyper focused. When they got to, it took them almost 5 years, over 5 years, to go from 88.88 to 0.90. They're at like 0.9001 something right now.
Mhm.
When they got to point 0.9, I took them to the most expensive dinner the whole customer experience team they ever had in their life. And,
Wow.
it was just such a great thing to experience for these guys that put in day out, hard work.
Yeah. Wow. Well, if I'm in your team, I'll definitely be really grateful for that amazing dinner or lunch that you brought
Yeah,
us
I'm
to
so
eat.
proud of them. I'm so proud of them, Rayson. They just work
Right.
so hard. The voice of the customer.
Yeah, the voice of the customers, I do agree with you, are really important and really important for your brand's growth, for NPS system as well. And
Yep.
yeah, and I would like to ask you, right, beyond just listening to customers and taking their suggestions to heart, is there anything else you think is important for customer retention?
That's where it starts. It really starts around, around making sure that we're taking care of our customers. From there, it really is around making sure that we're getting their skincare system correct for them. And that's a big
Mm,
challenge. And that is both a technology challenge, um, having the right user experience on our website, having the right uh, way to communicate with them and for them to make changes quickly and easily. We need to be a pain in the ass free company. We need to be
yeah.
we need to be make it very easy for people to engage with us. So that's the other point, but that's a lot harder and it's a lot of money and it's time and all the things we talked about before. It's hard to go fast with technology and it's hard
Hmm.
to make changes to the website and to the user experience. It takes months and months of planning. It takes a lot of money. So it's one area of the business is very difficult.
Well, I agree with you on that in terms of, that the technology, the user experience have to be something that is really enriching and really, not so monotonous, but at the same time something that people would enjoy using, like your products or services as well, so that they will keep
Yep.
coming back and also at the same time recommend people to come on board as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, people are fairly lazy. So if you do
True.
something and you don't make it easy for them, I think, they may not be back to visit you for a while. So you need to make it really
Yeah.
simple and easy.
Right, agree with you on that. And Kelly, what's your piece of advice for listeners who want to achieve wealth and success in life?
You know, follow your dreams, get started, and work really hard. I mean, you said it really well, Rayson. There's no such thing as like get rich quick. So I
Mhm.
think like you need to take action. You need to start. You need to be a hustler. It's not maybe that word has a wrong, negative connotation. I don't mean hustle like stealing and cheating and stuff. I mean, you watch
Mhm.
these movies, right? But you need to take action. You need to have surround yourself with good people, come up with an idea, test it, and see if it
Right,
works, and constantly iterate on it. It doesn't come easy. You need to work hard, be
totally
creative.
agree with you. Yeah, yeah. Be creative, work hard, and also at the same time, you gotta be persistent during this whole process of building your hustle, building your side income, building your product, your brand, and etc. Right?
Bingo.
Bingo, bingo. Awesome.
It
And
sounds easy. It sounds easy, but
yeah,
it's not.
yeah, it sounds easy, but uh, man, how we wish it's easy. Yeah, we can, achieve it just by going through the easy mode, and then we get so successful. But I doubt God or whatever we believe in wants us to go through it so easily. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that goes back to what we were saying before, brick by brick. Don't be
Yep.
overwhelmed. Don't overwhelm yourself by thinking the mountain is too tall to climb. Just take step by step every day, and you can reach your dreams.
Totally, totally. Nice. And well, Kelly, we are coming to the end of the podcast, and I have one last question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, Kelly, and that is this: imagine this, you
Right.
suddenly lose everything, your money, your reputation, and even your assets.
Oh my
Okay, so
gosh.
what so what would you do from day one to day 30 to save yourself?
Lose everything, huh? You know, that's the
Yeah,
greatest fear of all entrepreneurs, right? We never think we make
right.
it. We never think we make it. We always think we're on a journey. We never got there. We're always worried tomorrow we could lose everything. Um, well, this is interesting. You know, we talked about Arnold Schwarzenegger before. I'm going to just mention something to him. He's got some very interesting TED Talks. So he talks about never having a plan B, never having a plan B, only focus on plan A.
Right.
I think his point there is to be very, very, very focused. Is to be very focused. If you're not focused on one thing, if you're focused on two things, this can lead to you not being successful. But I will tell you, in my mind, in the back of my mind, I always have a little bit of a plan B. I always, in everything. If this
Okay.
doesn't work, then what am I going to do? If I lose my house, what am I going to do? If I lose the business, what am I going to do? If my lease is up and I have to move, what am I going to do? If I lose this person who's critical to my business, then what I'm going to do? So to answer your question, I think I have a little bit of a plan B all the time. And if I lose everything, what's my next move? I'm already thinking about before my next move, before that tragedy happens. What would I do? What contingency plan would I have? And it's not well thought out, but it's a seedling. It's a germ. It's a little idea that I always have. And if I have a big problem, then I'm going to do this. And I think the reason why is because I'm kind of a strategic thinker, right? So I think
Right.
if this business doesn't work out for me, or for some reason I left this business tomorrow, what would I do? So I have other, and by the way, I think like this concept isn't different to how a lot of people think, even about their individual lives. Like, for instance, if you're an investor, whether or not you invest in, stock and equities, or, Bitcoin or real estate or whatever it is, what do you want to do? You want to have a diversified portfolio. You don't want to have all your chips in one card hand. You want to have
Yeah.
the choice to have a diversified portfolio. And this is something that Aaron, I think is really excels in. Um, he's always thought about, if something happens to this business, how will I survive? How will I survive? And he's been able to build a bit of a portfolio of businesses. So I think that's the answer. If something were to happen to me today, uh, do I have something I can fall back on? And what would that something be? And how would I take that something and very quickly try to turn it into a viable business, or a viable way to be able to put food on my table,
Mm.
to feed my family, to pay my bills. So have a plan B.
Okay, I understand. Got it. So for those of you who are tuning in, uh, don't just focus on your plan A to be successful, millionaire, billionaire, whatever, but also have a contingency plan so it can support you if, let's say, you were not to make it, so that you can bounce back up and go back to your plan A again.
Yeah,
Right.
have some diversification. I invested a little bit of money in some businesses. I'm very little bit, not a lot. I invested in a little bit of real estate. I just sold. I have like something silly, like a parking for your car, a parking spot in a building. I had it for 20 years, and it
Mhm.
was kind of expensive, and I was renting it and everything else. Nothing to do with my really family or business. I just bought this thing. It's in a building that my friend was in. And, I got to the point where it's not really very valuable to me, but I needed the money. I needed to pay some debt and everything. I had it for 20 years. I rented it, broke even on it. I sold it. And now I have, some the 30,000 USD from it, and downtown, very, expensive place. And I was able to reinvest that capital, last month into something else. Had I not made that plan, 30 years ago and invested a little bit of money, I wouldn't have had the opportunity today. So, scatter your seeds around a little bit, and take care of them so they can grow for you.
Nice, awesome, wow, amazing. Thank you so much for being here with us and share so much of wisdom and golden nuggets with all of us. Really appreciate you, man. And Kelley, can you share with our audience where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, come follow me on LinkedIn. If you're a business guy or businesswoman and you would like to connect with me, I will be more than happy to help. I have about 5 or 6 companies that I consult for, that at no cost. They just call me up and ask me questions. I'd be more than happy. I had a call yesterday with a gentleman out of New York. I'd be more than happy to help you at Kelley Thornton on LinkedIn. We also have a killer offer for any of your listeners. If they go to Tiege.com /Regency show, then they will get 30% off plus a free gift. I hooked everybody up really good. So any of your listeners
Wow.
want to go to Legacy Show, Tiege.com, TIEGE.com /Legacy Show. We will hook them up with a really great offer.
Wow, awesome, man. Wow, thank you so much for this. And like what Kelley mentioned, go to teach.com /legacy show and get your products now. And not just that, you'll be getting a bonus product, a special product from them. All
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Okay, so with that, I would like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to the Legacy Show, and stay tuned for upcoming episodes where we're going to have amazing guests like David Meltzer and all the other amazing entrepreneurs from around the world. All right,
Wow. That's
so
awesome.
all right, so see you and have a great day and great evening. Okay, bye bye.
Thank you.